I want to help stop other people from doing that to themselves, because I know, I know what it feels like. I didn't expect to get this emotional. I remember a time when I was in my mid-20s. I was sitting in my car. I was miserable. I had not very many friends. I didn't go out. I was super embarrassed of my body, of who I was. I couldn't eat in front of people. I never wanted to go home because that would mean that I would have to face things. I was scared of dealing with anything that challenged me in my life. And I looked down in my car. I was super sad, lonely, miserable. And I saw all of these fast food bags around me. 4 or 5 fast food bags from 4 or 5 different fast food restaurants. I had consumed all of that food from 4 or 5 different restaurants in probably less than 20 minutes in my car, isolated and alone. I was feeling now, I remember feeling so embarrassed and disgusted with myself and thinking like, I never thought it would come to this. I never thought it would get so painful that I could do that to my body, make myself sick with food and miserable and depressed and not want to be in front of people, not want to eat in front of people or with them or have fun. I was in a lot of pain emotionally. That whole experience of driving from restaurant to restaurant, I remember it really well. I used to go immediately after work. I would drive to this plaza where there were 5 different fast food restaurants, and I would go through the drive-thru at every single one of them. And I would order a ton of food at each place. And what I always did was I would order 2 drinks because I was so embarrassed of how much food I was ordering. I thought if I ordered 2 drinks, maybe the person giving me my food would think it was for 2 people and not just for me. And that's how silly I was being in my head. Not silly, but that's how sad and lonely I was, that I was thinking, and how self-conscious I was, that I was thinking that people were even thinking that about like how many people were going to eat the food I ordered. I did that at every single restaurant. 5 fast food restaurants, 5 drive-thrus, 2 drinks at every single one. All these food wrappers in my car. And then before I would go home, I would go to a far garbage and I would take all the wrappers and I would dump it out. That way, no one would know that I ate that food. I was so embarrassed. I never shared that with anyone. I couldn't eat in front of anyone. And I did that for my whole 20s until late 20s when I reached my heaviest weight of 275 pounds. And I was starting to get a lot of medical and health issues. And I knew if I kept doing that, that I could put myself in the hospital or worse with my weight and what I was doing to my body with the food. It was that moment that I realized that it wasn't about the food. I was using the food to make me feel better and eating so that I wouldn't have to deal with any of the trauma or anything that I had gone through in my life or that I was currently experiencing. And I also realized not only am I putting my body under physical stress by putting that much food into my body in such a short period, which would lead to me feeling really sick to my stomach, but I was also mentally and emotionally putting myself down. And the moment that I realized that I needed to make a lifestyle change and lose weight and get healthy, I also realized if I'm gonna do that part, I have to look at the other part where I wouldn't wish this experience on anyone. Not my worst enemy, not any other being would I wish that they went through what I went through every single day after work, eating alone like that, trying to feel better through eating. That loneliness, the sadness, the embarrassment of myself, the trying to hide, the hiding what I was eating, the hiding my body and my personality. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. So why was I doing it to myself? I realized how awful I was being to myself. And even though I didn't like myself very much at that time, I didn't really have any respect for myself. I was really self-conscious, at a really low self-esteem. I realized there's gotta be something deep down, even subconsciously, there's gotta be some sort of love and respect for myself for me to realize you need to stop, Nicole. There must have been some amount of love there. So I decided to try to treat myself gentler, my body gentler, and my emotional being. And I realized, like, even if I looked at a picture of myself as a little girl, I couldn't do those things or say what I said to myself in my head to even a picture of me as a little girl. So if I couldn't do that to a little girl or even to someone, even to my worst enemy, why would I do it to myself? So I started questioning myself and I decided to just observe. One day, I just made a tick on a piece of paper every time that I said something negative to myself. And let me tell you, by the end of the day, I had over 100 ticks. In one day, I was being so mean to myself constantly. And just that observation of seeing how I thought, what I thought of myself, this is me. This being inside this body I was treating so unfair. Why was I doing that to myself? Why didn't I like myself so much? And I realized how much pain that I was in, and even now I'm getting teary-eyed because I remember being there and feeling that. And I just wanted to say to those of you that might be currently going through the same thing, if you're hearing me talk and you're hearing my experience and you're doing what I was doing or you've done it, I just want you to know it might be a little bit about the food. You know, sure, I liked food, but I realized it had nothing to do with the food. It was me using something, thinking food was easier to control. It was the only thing I had control of, so that's what I used. What it really had to do with was me not wanting to deal with not liking myself, with the things that I had gone through as a child that I didn't want to look at or work through. And I realized that I did deserve love from me. And I deserve to be more gentle on myself, especially after seeing that paper with all those tick marks of, you know, and I realized 95% of my day was putting myself down. When I am doing that all day, I can't be successful in anything. Not getting healthy, not loving myself or other people properly, or being happy, because 95% of my day was spent putting myself down all day. So I wanted to challenge those of you that are watching this that have a similar experience or that are really struggling right now, and you're realizing maybe it's not about food for you either, that there's more to it than that you can lose weight, but if you don't also deal with the emotional stuff, that you might constantly be sad and be putting yourself down and never be happy. I challenge you to do what I did, to not do anything at first except to observe. You can even do the exercise I did by just making a tick every time for a day that you say something mean or negative to yourself, and look at it at the end of the day and see how much of your day is taken up by you putting yourself down. Know that even just you doing that exercise, that there's somewhere down there, even if you don't feel like it right now, there's some love that you have for yourself, some love, some respect that knows you deserve better, that you're worth better, and that you can be more gentle on yourself. And when I started doing this, it clicked, and I started losing weight and loving myself and being more confident. And I realized how much I had hurt my body and my emotional being, and I didn't want to do that anymore. And now, you know, I still have days where I realize, wow, I'm being really tough on myself, but they're less and less, and I catch them faster. And now I believe I'm worth it, that I deserve better, and that I deserve to be loved and to love myself. And I don't ever want to go back to that, because I know I'm worth more than that, than being so sad and stuck and embarrassed that I had to isolate myself in my car and just eat. And I want to help stop other people from doing that to themselves, because I know what it feels like. I didn't expect to get this emotional. I just want you to know that I've been through it, and you're not going through it alone, even if you feel like it. That other people have been through it, and they have come out of it. And occasionally I go back in to that place, that sad place, so I can do a video for you guys. And as you can see, I'm in that place right now so that I can help you. But I just want you to know it does get better. It can get better, and if you're watching this video up until now, that means that you have love for yourself, and that you will be better and gentler on yourself. My sads. Sorry about that. So the friends, I just wanted to say, like, Kyle and I have both been through experiences. Obviously, I just shared that with you, and we've been there. We've been in that space, and we know what it feels like. You're not alone, and you're worth it to be gentle on yourself. And ask yourself that question: would I treat someone else like that? And I guarantee you the answer is going to be no. You wouldn't want to ever wish what you're putting yourself through on someone else. So I'm going to end this video with a question: why are you doing it to yourself? We love you, so we're challenging you to love you. So that's it. Thanks so much for watching. We love you. We've been through it. We know what you're feeling. You're not alone. We're here for you. Do the stuff. Like the bells. Get on Instagram at Collet and TikTok. Just eat a pretzel. Thanks for watching, guys. We love you. Check out the Fight Through It gear and the weight loss ebooks down below. And have yourself a lovely day. The Collets are out and hopping. Peace, dudes.
See you guys.
Remember, the friends, that weight loss isn't just about the number on the scale. It's also about here and here. Heart and mindset. Fight through it. You can do it.